Hello everybody, my name is Andrew Marino and today I will be talking about why Nikola Motors has failed. When Nikola Motors first went public, the founder of the company, who is Trevor Milton, had sold $70 million worth of shares. Nikola is claiming that they are producing 3 gigawatts of electricity at their headquarters, which was not true. Nikola's company had misled its investors by having shown a video of one of Nikola's trucks driving down the highway, but the truck was actually not operating and was just rolling downhill. The founder of the company and former chairman of Nikola had done many of not good things, but the reason why Nikola will end up failing is not because of Trevor had misled his investors. However, the reason why it will fail is because they rely on hydrogen fuel cells as technology. In 1880, Thomas Edison had invented the direct current. Examples of direct currents are our computer batteries and a car battery. But a green energy vehicle does not produce carbon emissions. As of right now, there are only 2 types of green energy vehicles, one which is all electric vehicles and the other one which is the hydrogen cell vehicle. Electricity is the only way to power battery charged vehicles. Battery electric vehicles have a battery and a motor. Battery runs the electric motor, and the motor is what ultimately drives the car. Depending on what the battery manufacturer is, some may choose to change some of their operating requirements. An example is that Tesla Motors uses an AC motor in their cars. However, the motor that converts AC to DC uses an efficient alternator, but the design of a battery-powered vehicle is very simple for each and every manufacturer. The process is somewhat similar how we recharge and use our cellular devices. The process from start to finish is 70% more efficient. Electricity generation, transmission, and storage already has its place in battery electric vehicles. It doesn't matter that wherever you choose to go on this earth, electricity is always going to be available. And if electricity is not available, it is very easy to produce it through wind and solar power. Analyzing the hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, we are able to see that hydrogen is far more inferior in costs and energy efficiency than battery-powered vehicles. Hydrogen is the only fuel for hydrogen vehicles. There's a lot of ways that people can produce hydrogen. One of them is by steam reforming. Steam reforming is the dominant hydrogen production method within the industry. Within this method, natural gas reacts with the high temperature steam to produce hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. Once we as humans produce the hydrogen, we need to continue by being able to distribute it. There are 3 different distribution methods for hydrogen. The first is the pipeline, the second which is high pressure tube trailers, and the third which is liquefied hydrogen tankers. Pipelines are expensive, and only 1,600 miles worth of hydrogen gas pipelines is available in the United States of America, primarily in Illinois and in California. One way to be able to transport hydrogen gas is to use high-pressure tube trailers. However, it's very costly if the delivery location is less than 200 miles from the hydrogen factory. Cryogenic liquefaction is also a very costly process. For this, hydrogen is cooled less than negative 239.96 degrees Celsius, which turns it into a liquid. The distribution of hydrogen is very expensive. In order to produce hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, which are liked by the consumers, they need to build thousands of hydrogen refueling stations around the world. If there are not a lot of hydrogen fueling stations around the world, then nobody will want to buy them. As of right now, there are only 50 hydrogen fueling stations around the United States. As on the other side of things, there are over 32,000 electric vehicle charging stations throughout the United States as of right now, and can even recharge them at your house. If we consider all of the losses from electricity generation of vehicles, electric consumption, the battery-powered cars are effectively 70% more efficient. Building a hydrogen fueling station is not very profitable for the business owners, because if there is not going to be enough hydrogen vehicles driving on the road, then they essentially will be losing money, which turns to the point that if there isn't enough hydrogen refueling stations, the customers are not going to want to buy a hydrogen-powered vehicle because they will have nowhere to refuel them at. Hydrogen vehicles unfortunately cost 4 times the amount to operate than electric vehicles do. Electric vehicles are very simple. All of the infrastructure and technology for electric vehicles is already set in stone, and hydrogen is very, very costly. Sadly, hydrogen is neither cheap or efficient, and electric vehicles are superior to hydrogen fuel cell vehicles in every aspect of the game. And hydrogen is the main selling point for Nikola Motors. And no, Nikola Motors has no manufacturing and no software whatsoever. To close things up, I would like to say that everything has pros and cons, but when there are two different technologies that are trying to solve the same problem, and one of the technologies is far superior to the others in every way possible, it will never work out. Trevor Milton was the main driving force in the face of Nikola, but he has now resigned from the Nikola company. And now there are no visionary or key public figures within the Nikola company anymore. So Nikola Motors does not have any software technology or any real leaders anymore. And there seems to be no real path for Nikola Motors to make it successfully. And this is why I believe that Nikola Motors will fail and go bankrupt.